How are you, my internet family? Welcome back to another Vlogmas video. Today, let's chat mental health. I have been adoring your support on these Vlogmas videos, but one thing that keeps reoccurring in the feedback that I'm getting from you guys is questions about how I stay positive and any tips on mental health and things like that. And first off, I am so glad that my viewers are talking about mental health, and that's what I want to do with this video. Is I want to ignite a discussion in the comments about mental health and encourage you all to talk more about how you're feeling. Bilbo, if you're feeling down, just talk to someone. Tell me how you are. I know some of you find it hard to believe because I'm in a very happy place right now, but not so long ago, I was in a very poor state of mental health. Mental health problems can manifest in lots of different ways. You've got stress, anxiety, depression, eating disorders, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. All these things are very much interwoven, so usually if you have one, you may be prone to getting another, and I've gone through different periods of my life at different stages where my mental health was pretty much non-existent, and I didn't want to talk to people about it at the time, which I really do regret doing, because once I opened up and sought help from people, everything changed. My dad and my brother were witness to a lot of my issues, and you know, when I talk to them now about it, it's really hard to kind of realize that that old version of me was only a few years ago.
I remember a couple of times you'd be looking in the mirror before we'd go out and you'd start crying.
Yeah. Because
you like how you looked, and
then I just wouldn't go.
Very obsessive with what you're eating and how much you're eating.
Yeah.
And what, like, you'd weigh yourself every day.
Multiple times
a day.
Remember, I thought I was like really overweight when I was at my lowest weight.
Yeah.
I was so skinny.
Yeah, you thought you were very fat when you were extremely thin.
Remember, like, I went through the phase of only eating fruit for months and like obsessive, like,
you would binge and then you would punish yourself by
not eating for days. I would just like starve myself for days, and then I would stuff my face. There's no way to be happy when you're living like that at all. It's just not. It's no way that you can be a happy person and be doing that.
It's a translation though, that like you're unhealthy in your mind, so
yeah, it manifests
in a way.
Yeah. Of
you trying to control a certain aspect of your life.
Dad, do you remember the first like panic attack that I had? Like, was it in front of you? I don't even know.
I don't know, but I remember when you were about 16, when you came to midlife with me. You weren't going to school for a while, you were staying in and you were playing some computer game.
World of Warcraft, it was called.
You were going to bed when I was going to work. So obviously you had something that you didn't want to be awake and in the house on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that.
And then you were, when you'd have a panicky thing, you'd be breathing and you'd be lying down with your head stuck out the fucking window or the sliding doors.
Oh yeah.
But it didn't last that long, you know, it lasted about a year.
Yeah. You'd
panic like things, thinking if you had a pain in your chest, you thought you were dying of a heart attack.
Yep.
If you watched a film about Armageddon, you'd think it was fucking Armageddon.
Sometimes it just used to happen for no reason, and I would...
Well, obviously an underlying cause, but I don't know if you ever knew what it was.
Ah yeah, well, like, I worked it out like with the counsellor, but it's not like one thing caused it, it's more so...
everyone...
It's a build-up of things.
Young teenagers, I think everyone has an element of that going on, some's worse than others, and that's it.
And it's okay. Yeah, you do get over it once you like kind of figure out what's causing it.
You're thinking too deeply about things, and all your mates in wherever you lived and went to school, everything they did was all chaos and panic.
Yeah. The thing that prompted me to want to make this video is Project for Awesome, which is something that John and Hank Green from YouTube do every single year, where they bring the YouTube community together and we all talk about different charities and, you know, promote a charity that means a lot to us. And for me, the one that I want to bring to your attention is a local charity called Headstrong here in Ireland, and their whole mission is to get rid of the stigma attached to mental health and really get the youth of my country talking about mental health. I think it's so important nowadays that we build awareness on how important our mental health actually is. When we're children and in our teens and even as young adults, we're very vulnerable, and it's a very vulnerable time to be going through any sort of mental health problems. And what Headstrong do is they offer support to young people all the time. If you need ever to talk to anybody, they're there. It was set up by a psychologist, and I am very interested in psychology, having studied it as part of my university degree. But he understands that young people are terrified of having no purpose in their life, and that's where a lot of these issues stem from. When we feel lost and we feel like we're not going anywhere, you know, there's no kind of sense of direction, and we don't feel like we fit in, we don't feel like we belong. Everyone needs to realize that there is a place for you in this world, and you have so much ahead of you. Like, I am living proof that your thoughts become your things. Like, thoughts become things. I'm such a believer in that, because the way that I think, I can manifest things in my life based on how I think, because your thoughts create your future. They set off like your subconscious doing tasks to make things happen. So if you really, really want something to change, if you think about it in the right way, like being glass half full, for me, it was such a hard transition to make from being a very negative person and always kind of, I always thought I was dying. I was always having panic attacks. I went through a stage of depression, and then I had really bad body image issues and self-image issues. I just didn't love myself. I was distracting myself from dealing with my problems by kind of just really internalizing everything, and it was so bad for me. Headstrong helps people to build their confidence and helps them to, you know, learn how to build relationships with other adults. So if you feel like you've gotten stuck on the journey to adulthood, know that in your country, even if you're not in Ireland, there is organizations like this there to support you and help you, and you do not need to hold all this in, because it's the one thing that I get told so much by my viewers, is that you guys are afraid to talk to people, and that's so upsetting. Like, I was talking to one of my subscribers the other day, and the way I put it to her is that she said she was kind of embarrassed to talk to my phone. She said she was embarrassed at the idea of talking to a professional about how she's feeling. These professionals, so psychologists and psychotherapists, counselors, they've probably heard a million times worse than what you're going to say to them. They hear it day in, day out, and the people who are drawn to that profession really do care about you. They want to help you, and they're not going to be judging you whatsoever. That led me into another conversation with someone who said that they don't like leaving the house, and they always feel like people are looking at them and judging them and thinking bad things. And I've been there, but once I realized that every single person is in their own mind. So, you know, when you're out on the street, you're walking through a shopping centre, and if you're feeling like everyone is kind of analysing you and kind of looking at you and thinking negative thoughts about you, have you ever done that yourself? Like, have you ever been out and saw someone and let that consume your whole day and thought all these bad things about them? That just doesn't happen, because all of us have our own lives going on, and we're always worrying about our own things. Like, I have to do this later, this thing happened last night, oh my god, I had this fight with my sister, or whatever it is. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and, you know, throwing yourself into situations that used to make you uncomfortable, and realizing that not everybody is going to think badly of you, and even if they did, so what? I get bad things thought about me and said about me a lot by people who don't understand me, by people who don't like me, by people, whatever it is. But why would that matter to me? All that matters to me is how I feel about myself, how my family feel about me, how my close friends feel about me, and that is it. We get one life, and we all deserve to live that life to the full. We all deserve to be happy. I definitely believe that the modern way of living has made mental health problems escalate. So a lot more people are dealing and struggling with mental health issues nowadays, and it's to do with many different things. So our diets are lacking in nutrients, and we're spending way too much time on our own on social media rather than interacting with people. There's a huge amount of variables causing all these issues, but talking about them helps you to understand them and then like adjust your life around so that it isn't so bad anymore. I read a lot of books on my journey to becoming happy, and it did not happen overnight. This took me years and years, and now I'm just so happy. Even when bad things happen to me, I'm genuinely happy inside, and that kind of overrides everything else because it's just the way I think. And I firmly believe that if I had not gotten help and I had not spoken to professionals, I spoke to many people, not just one, because the first person I went to, I didn't like them and they didn't really help me. If you know anyone who's going through mental health problems, or if you yourself have ever felt any of the things I mentioned at the start, or if you've been suicidal or you've self-harmed, and self-harm is something that can come in many ways. It's not only just cutting yourself, which is a widely kind of associated thing with self-harm, but there's lots of different ways people do this. You may not even realize that you're doing it, or someone you love may not realize, but yeah, all these things are signs of poor mental health. I guess I just want to summarize this video by saying your health is your wealth. It really is. If you're not healthy in your mind, you know, there's obviously your physical health is important, but I feel like mental health is so important because that is what all you have. So just like, I'm like begging you guys to know that you can get help. There is help out there. There's support, there's free support, there's phone lines that you can call. Because I'm doing Vlogmas, I missed the entry for a Project for Awesome, but I still wanted to make a video about this charity, Headstrong, and just to kind of let you guys know that it's okay to not feel okay. It's even better to feel okay, and I want that for every single one of you watching this video. I hope you liked it, and let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Maybe chat to each other down there and give me a thumbs up if you want me to do lots more videos about mental health and exploring all these different topics. I love you all so much for your support, for just being amazing. I have an amazing community on this channel. The internet family is like giving me life right now. You're making my life so much better. I'm just gonna go because I'm just rambling now, but I'll see you tomorrow with another follow me around vlog, and peace out. Peace out. I don't say peace out, I say goodbye guys and dolls.